Hey Logic users, check this out! Changing articulations without using key switches? What's this, magic? Better! It is the new Articulation ID feature in Logic Pro X 10.4. Let's check it out. So key switches have basically been the standard for changing articulations on instruments, going from sustain to staccato to tremolo and so on. But there are several problems with this. 1. Accidental articulation changes. I'm sure you have experienced this many times, especially if you play and record on a MIDI keyboard. 2. Wrong articulation on playback. When you start playing in the middle of a MIDI clip, the instrument will only play the last key switch that was activated. 3. The copy notes confusion. When you compose and arrange music, you do a lot of copy and pasting of MIDI notes. Well, most often you don't want to copy those key switches to other tracks in your project. So this part is also time-consuming and confusing. And now the solution. Articulation IDs. This is brand new in Logic. Basically, instead of using key switch notes, Logic has integrated a feature which gives you the ability to assign an articulation per note in your MIDI recording. Let me show you how. It's actually really genius and simple at the same time. So most, especially orchestral instruments, have lots of different articulations that you want to switch to in the middle of the performance to add some expression to it. So if we go into this little MIDI recording I made, I have already added those articulation changes, but there's no key switches anywhere to be seen inside the MIDI clip. Instead, you simply select any note in your performance and then apply an articulation to it using this list here with all the articulations available for the specific instrument. And for the new studio strings and studio horns, these are already mapped out for you. So you simply go through your MIDI performance note by note and add the specific articulation that you want for each note. How do you map your own articulation IDs to your software instruments and sample libraries? It's actually pretty easy when you learn the flow of it. Step 1 is of course to load up your instrument that you want to map key switches to. I will show this using this String Ensemble Symphony Essentials that I got with the Native Instruments Complete package. After you have loaded your instrument, you go into the track inspector up here, or by using the shortcut I on your keyboard. Then go down to where it says Articulation. Here you can see that studio horns and studio strings already have mapped presets. So you click on New. And here is where you write the names of all articulations of your specific instrument. So let's see what we have here. Sustains, sordino, tremolo, trills, harmonics, staccato, spiccato, and pizzicato. So you simply click this plus sign here to add each of them and write in the corresponding name, like this. So the first key switch was sustains, so you simply double click here and write sustains, and then you do the same for all these key switches here. Then you go over to the Output tab, and this is where you will map those key switch names to actual key switch notes. But first you need to select Note On here in the Type column. This basically tells Logic that the trigger is a note. Once you have chosen Note On, you get a list for all notes here in the Selector tab. And then you simply map all the articulations to the correct notes one by one, like this. You simply go back to the instrument to check the individual key switches, starting with sustains, which is F6, and then sustains here, go down to F6. This is the boring part, by the way. So you do this for everyone until you get a full list like this. So now when the mapping of the key switches is complete, you can close this window. And if you go into this MIDI part on this instrument now, you can see that we in fact have all the articulations mapped out. So the final thing is to save this articulation mapping, and you need to remember the name of the instrument that you have mapped. String Ensemble Symphony Essentials. So you can go back here, click on Save As, and then Articulation Settings, String Ensemble Symphony Essentials. Click Save, and that's it. Now your own custom articulation preset is available right here whenever you need it, fully mapped for this particular instrument. And that's it! Articulation ID in Logic Pro X. Super easy and super powerful. Do you want to truly master Logic Pro X for composing and producing music? Then join my Facebook group Logic Pro X for Professionals right now.